The wrestling world just exploded with shocking revelations as Nick Aldis stepped forward to expose the truth behind one of the most talked about incidents in recent SmackDown history. The attack on Jacob Fatu left fans stunned and confused for weeks, but now the general manager of SmackDown has finally pulled back the curtain on what really happened that night. Before we dive into this bombshell announcement that has sent shockwaves through the WWE universe, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another major wrestling revelation. Nick Aldis called an emergency press conference that nobody saw coming. The SmackDown general manager looked unusually serious as he stood behind the podium, and you could tell from his body language that this was going to be huge. For those who have been following the Jacob Fatu situation, you know that this attack left one of the most dominant forces in WWE laid out backstage. The mystery surrounding the assault had everyone from casual fans to industry insiders trying to piece together the puzzle. Jacob Fatu had been on an absolute tear through the SmackDown roster. His presence in WWE had already made a significant impact, and his affiliation with the Bloodline storyline added layers of complexity to an already intricate narrative. The night of the attack, cameras caught the aftermath showing Fatu unconscious near the loading dock area. Medical personnel rushed to the scene, and the chaos that followed left everyone with more questions than answers. Aldis began his statement by addressing the seriousness of the situation. He made it clear that WWE takes the safety of its superstars with the utmost importance and that a full investigation had been conducted over the past several weeks. The general manager explained that multiple witnesses were interviewed, security footage was reviewed frame by frame, and forensic evidence was collected from the scene. What they discovered turned out to be far more complicated than anyone could have imagined. The investigation revealed that the attack was not a random act of violence but a carefully orchestrated plan. Aldis stated that after extensive review of all available evidence and testimony from several superstars who came forward, they were able to identify the perpetrator. The tension in the room was thick as Aldis paused before delivering the name that would change everything. According to the general manager, the person responsible for attacking Jacob Fatu was none other than Solo Sikoa. This revelation sent immediate shockwaves through the wrestling community. Solo Sikoa attacking Jacob Fatu created a whole new dynamic within the Bloodline narrative. Aldis explained that the motivation behind the attack stemmed from internal conflicts that had been brewing beneath the surface for months. Solo felt threatened by Fatu's growing influence and the attention he was receiving from key figures within the organization. The general manager went into detail about how Solo had been planning this attack for weeks. Security footage showed Solo scouting the backstage area on multiple occasions, studying patterns, and identifying the perfect location and timing for the assault. On the night in question, Solo waited until Fatu was isolated and vulnerable. The attack was swift and brutal, designed to send a message not just to Fatu but to everyone who might challenge Solo's position. Aldis revealed that witnesses had been too intimidated to come forward initially. Several superstars had seen suspicious activity but were reluctant to speak up due to fear of retaliation from the Bloodline. It took considerable effort from WWE officials to create a safe environment where people felt comfortable sharing what they knew. One by one, pieces of the puzzle started falling into place, and the picture that emerged was damning for Solo Sikoa. The evidence was overwhelming. Security cameras captured Solo entering and leaving the area around the time of the attack. His movements were deliberate and calculated. Aldis showed clips during the press conference that displayed Solo wearing a black hoodie and attempting to conceal his identity. However, distinctive tattoos and physical characteristics made it impossible to mistake him for anyone else. Additionally, witnesses reported hearing Solo making threats against Fatu in the days leading up to the incident. The fallout from this revelation has been enormous. The Bloodline, already dealing with internal strife and power struggles, now faces its biggest crisis yet. Roman Reigns had been trying to maintain order within the faction, but this attack exposed deep fractures that cannot be easily repaired. Fatu's allies have been calling for immediate consequences, while Solo supporters claim there is more to the story than what has been presented. Aldis made it clear that there would be serious repercussions for Solo's actions. WWE has a strict code of conduct, and attacking a fellow superstar outside the confines of a sanctioned match is absolutely unacceptable. The general manager stated that Solo would face suspension, fines, and potential legal action depending on whether Fatu decides to press charges. Furthermore, Solo's position within the Bloodline and his standing in WWE would be re-evaluated based on the severity of his actions. The wrestling community has been buzzing with reactions to this announcement. Social media platforms exploded with comments from fans, former wrestlers, and industry analysts. Many expressed shock that Solo would go to such extreme lengths, while others pointed out that warning signs had been there all along. Some fans started rewatching previous episodes looking for clues and hints that might have foreshadowed this shocking turn of events. Jacob Fatu released a statement through his representatives expressing gratitude to Nick Aldis and the investigative team for their thorough work. Fatu acknowledged that the road to recovery had been challenging both physically and mentally. The attack left him with significant injuries that required medical treatment and rehabilitation. However, Fatu made it clear that he was not intimidated and that he would return stronger than ever. His message to Solo was simple but powerful: actions have consequences, and their business was far from finished. The dynamics within the Bloodline have shifted dramatically following this revelation. Paul Heyman found himself in an impossible position, trying to maintain cohesion within a group that was tearing itself apart from within. Roman Reigns has remained relatively quiet publicly, but sources close to the situation suggest that the tribal chief is furious about the attack. Reigns had worked hard to build the Bloodline into a dominant force, and internal violence threatened to destroy everything he had created. Other members of the Bloodline were forced to choose sides. Jimmy Uso and G.U.S.O. had their own complicated history with both Solo and Fatu. The brothers understood the importance of family and loyalty, but they also recognized that Solo had crossed a line that could not be ignored. Their reactions and decisions would play a crucial role in determining the future direction of the Bloodline storyline. ALDIS also addressed speculation about whether this was a storyline or a legitimate incident. The general manager emphasized that while WWE creates entertainment and tells compelling stories, the safety and well-being of its performers is always genuine and never compromised for the sake of drama. This attack had real consequences, and WWE was treating it with the seriousness it deserved. However, ALDIS also acknowledged that this situation would inevitably play out on television in some capacity because that is the nature of the wrestling business. The investigation uncovered additional information about Solo's state of mind leading up to the attack. Multiple sources reported that Solo had been increasingly paranoid about his position within the Bloodline. He felt that Jacob Fatu was being groomed to potentially replace him as Roman Reigns' primary enforcer. This perceived threat to his status drove Solo to take drastic action. ALDIS explained that WWE offers counseling and support services to all its superstars, but Solo had declined to utilize these resources despite recommendations from management. The weapon used in the attack was also revealed during the press conference. ALDIS stated that Solo used a steel pipe that he had hidden in the loading dock area hours before the assault. This premeditation demonstrated that the attack was not a spontaneous act of aggression but a calculated attempt to seriously injure Jacob Fatu. The discovery of the weapon provided crucial physical evidence that corroborated witness testimony and security footage. Legal experts weighed in on the situation, explaining that Solo could face criminal charges beyond just WWE's internal discipline. Assault with a weapon is a serious offense that law enforcement takes very seriously. If Fatu decides to pursue legal action, Solo could find himself dealing with consequences that extend far beyond the wrestling ring. This added another layer of complexity to an already complicated situation. The WWE locker room has been divided in its response to the revelation. Some superstars expressed support for Solo, arguing that the competitive nature of the business sometimes leads people to make poor decisions in the heat of the moment. Others condemned the attack as inexcusable and called for the harshest possible punishment. This division created tension backstage that affected morale and working relationships across the entire roster. Nick Aldis concluded his press conference by outlining the next steps. Solo Sikoa would be given an opportunity to address the situation publicly and explain his actions. WWE would then determine appropriate punishment based on his response, the severity of the injuries caused, and input from all relevant parties. Aldis emphasized that WWE was committed to ensuring justice was served while also maintaining the integrity of its storytelling and entertainment product. The announcement has created enormous anticipation for upcoming episodes of SmackDown. Fans are eager to see how this situation unfolds on television and what consequences Solo will face. Will Jacob Fatu return to seek revenge? How will Roman Reigns respond to this betrayal within his own family? What does this mean for the future of the Bloodline? These questions have everyone talking and speculating about what comes next. Behind the scenes, WWE creative teams have been working overtime to incorporate this situation into their long-term plans. The attack on Jacob Fatu has opened up numerous storytelling possibilities that can be explored over the coming months. Writers are balancing the need to address the serious nature of the incident while still creating compelling entertainment that keeps fans engaged and invested in the characters and storylines. Industry analysts have praised Nick Aldis for his handling of the situation. The general manager demonstrated strong leadership by conducting a thorough investigation and being transparent about the findings. His approach showed respect for the performers, the audience, and the business itself. Many believe this incident, while unfortunate, has actually strengthened Aldis's credibility as SmackDown's authority figure. The revelation about Solo Sikoa attacking Jacob Fatu represents a turning point in WWE storytelling. It adds depth and realism to the Bloodline saga while creating genuine uncertainty about where the narrative is headed. Fans appreciate when wrestling feels unpredictable and when actions have real consequences. This situation delivers on both fronts and has reinvigorated interest in SmackDown at a crucial time. As we process this shocking announcement from Nick Aldis, one thing is certain: the landscape of SmackDown has been forever changed. The attack on Jacob Fatu and the revelation that Solo Sikoa was responsible has set in motion a chain of events that will reverberate throughout WWE for months to come. Make sure you stay subscribed to our channel for all the latest updates, reactions, and developments in this incredible story. The wrestling world will be watching closely to see how this situation unfolds, and you won't want to miss a single moment of what promises to be an unforgettable chapter in WWE history.